Floor Jansen. Marry me. Tricky. Kia ora and welcome back. My name is Zoe Stebe, your vocal coach for today. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at Nightwish, Sahara. Let's get to the video. Before I get to Nightwish, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Over here on my channel, you're going to find reactions and analyses to your favorite artists so that you can sing more like them in the comfort of your own home. So if you want to learn more about singing, click that subscribe button. Yeah, let's get to Nightwish. Okay, before she gets into the second verse, Floor Jansen, marry me. She's just such an amazing singer, isn't she? One thing that's really striking me though in this performance is at the end of the sentences where she's got that more open vowel at the end, that open vowel for that long held note. You can hear that there's sort of like a darkening of the tone. Not a judgment. That's just what I'm hearing, okay? So that can be created by just dropping the tongue slightly at the back and thinking more about it being a than an a vowel. I actually don't know the words, so I don't know what vowel it probably should have been, but making it more of an sound can kind of give that impression of a bigger, rounder sound, because this isn't too far up in the range, so it's not going to impact the larynx too much. Yes. Okay, what do I remark on first? There were a couple of things there. We're not quite getting into belting territory yet. And I know that Floor Jansen has her YouTube channel. I have watched a couple of her videos singing live, like specifically Let It Go. It was like, let it go. So good. But we're not in the belting territory just yet. Again, not a judgment. It's just, I'm not hearing any belting. It is not like high enough really for her to like full on go at it. But you can hear, I'll go back to the part that I'm ending because again, I don't know the words well enough, but you can hear that she's sort of like switching between a slightly more operatic mixy sound and then more of her sort of like straight tone sound. So when I'm thinking opera, I'm thinking slightly lowered larynx, slightly thinner vocal folds, not thin though, like slightly. And you've got more of that cry sound. Let's just go back to one I pointed out. Again, that's quite a more classical sound, and then she's going to go back into more of that straight tone that I was talking about. Now, there's not much of a difference there between the sounds, but we should. If you were to just allow the larynx to drop slightly and to bring in a bit of vibrato, that would sound quite classical, but she sang it in a straight tone. And at the end, she's just releasing into that vibrato as well, which is a way to bring in kind of like that little bit of shimmer, a little bit of interest just at the end, which means that you kind of, rather than getting loudly, you can still create interest right to the end of the note. She's a master though. She's a master. So good. I might have looked like a little bit confused there because I was trying to figure out, is this live or is this pre-recorded and then it's been put over top of a live performance? I'm not 100% sure. Let me know down in the comments if you know. Tricky. Anyway, whatever it is, it's a very cool vocal performance. Again, there's nothing really going on in the vocals there, actually. It's not particularly difficult for Flora at this point. You're sort of looking at the same sort of quality the whole way through. Thick vocal folds, lovely neutral larynx, and I mean, the melody's repeating itself, so there's nothing particularly interesting going on there. To be honest, I'm not really listening to the lyrics, and maybe that's like furthering the story probably. But what I'm loving there, though, is you really see her expansive gestures on those lovely long-held notes. Now, that might be just her way of expressing the song, and it might just be part of her performance. But what you can do is, if you're thinking about those really long-held notes and you're kind of having a little bit of trouble with them, or you're wanting like a little bit of extra support. Now, I do say support in quotation marks because support doesn't come from here. Okay, support is about stabilizing the muscles within the larynx, and we do that through activating through the back muscles. And you can do that with those lovely expansive gestures that she does as well. The arms out to the side, for example. If you just put your arms out to the side, you'll immediately feel activation through the back, making sure the shoulders are down. And if you've got any of these sorts of, microphone holding moments where it's like two hands on the microphone, even just doing that, I can really feel my lats, which are these things that come up and attach in underneath your armpits. If you kind of push the shoulders down and away, you'll feel that immediate activation again, making sure that you're not gripping in here. Okay. day if we were going to really go into Floor Jansen's technique. I mean, like, the woman is a highly, highly, highly trained singer. And that's just like years and years and years of working at her instrument. But just to give you kind of a bit of an insight, I was really surprised when she went up to the 1,000 or whatever it was. Lovely, lovely classical sound coming through there. Now, I don't necessarily like to say, okay, that's classical and like that's pop and that's rock, but it is kind of like when we're thinking about those styles, that's what sound we're expecting to hear. But just like we've seen, I mean, this is like metal and symphonic metal, and we're still hearing a really classical sound in there. Now, that's why it's so important to cross-train your voices. So if you are someone who does sing metal, go away and sing a couple of art songs. Sing a couple of, I don't know, musical theater songs. Sing a couple of pop songs. When you go away and try all these different things out, you'll be able to kind of like pick parts that you enjoy, but it's also an excellent way for you to not just get stuck in one mode of singing. What happens is when we get stuck in that one mode, we can actually tire our voices out because we're working really specific muscles. And when we cross-train, we're working all of the muscles or more of the muscles, and therefore it's giving the ones that we use the most a bit of a rest. So if you cross-train your voice, all these things will end up complementing your technique in the end. I've never heard that song before, and I am a pretty big Nightwish fan. I can't wait to see them when they come to Munich. I'm so excited. So thank you so much for joining me today, everyone, to have a look at some more Nightwish. I love them. Let me know down in the comments what you want me to have a look at next. The list is getting long, but I'm doing my absolute best. I promise you. I'm like ticking them off as I'm going through. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button, because I bring out videos just like this one 3 times a week. I want to help you sing better in the comfort of your own home. So I'll see you back here next time. Happy singing, happy practicing. Have an awesome rest of your day. Ka kite anō.